I will never be working with CASETiFY again. Kind of shocking at how blatant and lazy they ripped off the teardown skins. Absolutely never working with CASETiFY again. We've never had CASETiFY as a sponsor on our channel, and we will never buy their products. How about a little more? What stores in the US are any CASETiFY products sold in? I'd like to not shop there until all CASETiFY products are off their shelves. If you have no idea why the heck all these creators are so upset, we'll get to that in a second. But first, a little thought exercise. Imagine that you're a creator who wakes up Thanksgiving morning daydreaming about all that delicious turkey and stuffing. Not only that, you're super excited to post a sponsorship with a $1 billion brand where you're gonna share their upcoming Black Friday and Cyber Monday promotions. You're already starting to imagine what you're gonna spend the cash on once that brand deal check hits your bank account, right? You open your computer to casually skim social media before hitting publish, and your stomach drops. A gigantic creator in your niche has just uploaded a video accusing your sponsor of copyright infringement and has filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. What do? Do you still upload the video? If you do, are you gonna get flamed or dragged by your audience? If you don't, will the sponsor come after you legally for breaching the contract? Oh, it's a lot of money. Maybe you needed that to pay the bills this month. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds like a super unlikely chain of events, but it's not. This just happened. The alleged copyright infringer, CASETiFY. The accuser, Zach from Jerry Rig Everything, along with his collaborator, dbrand. So first, if you're wondering who the heck I am, well, I have a unique perspective here. My name is Justin Moore. I've been a creator since 2009, and along with my wife, April, we've made over $4 million on sponsorships to date. So we've done a ton of deals, but I also ran an influencer marketing agency for 7 years, working behind the scenes with a lot of big advertisers. And now I'm a sponsorship coach, teaching other creators how to make more money working with brands and navigate tricky situations like this. Okay, so here's the dish. Anyone? On November 23rd, Zach from Jerry Rig Everything uploaded a 13-minute video outlining in incredible detail how CASETiFY allegedly stole designs from his product partnership with dbrand, even down to the Easter eggs, including the date that dbrand was founded, dbrand's favicon branding, and even one of Zach's signature catchphrases. It really appears as though CASETiFY right-clicked on the product image and said, yoink? Zach's video rocketed to number 4 on trending, and shortly afterwards, the entire CASETiFY website went down. Was it related? TBD.
I don't know.
Then, less than 24 hours later, CASETiFY released a statement on social media, which read, CASETiFY has always been a bastion of originality, and we hold pride in that. We are currently investigating a copyright allegation against us. We have immediately removed the designs in question from all platforms. It's clear that there's gonna be a protracted court battle coming up, but in this video, rather than focusing on the legal hot water that CASETiFY is in, I've got something juicier and scarier to discuss. What the heck should you do as a creator if you wind up in a situation where you're contracted to work with the brand that is currently being canceled? Again, this is not an anomaly. Anyone remember a company by the name of FTX? Did you know that several large finance YouTubers who promoted it were named in a $1 billion class action lawsuit? So before I talk about what I would do in this CASETiFY situation, we have to take a step back and discuss 7 questions that you need to ask yourself before you accept a sponsorship to begin with, so nothing like this ever happens to you. Question number 1, how long has this company been around? I'm not saying that they have to be decades and decades old. It's more about what they've done in the time that they've existed. Are there any legitimate testimonials from customers which show that the brand has been able to provide value over a period of time? Can you identify their track record in any other way? If a company with 0 social proof and a partially functioning website that seems like it was made last week reaches out, be careful. With CASETiFY, it's kind of hard because they've been around since 2011. They're sold in retailers like Best Buy. Their CEO was even recently quoted as saying that they did $300 million in revenue in 2022. but it's always helpful to have a healthy dose of skepticism. Question 2, what type of sponsorship does the brand want? There are two very different styles of sponsorship that will significantly impact how you come across to your audience. The first is testimonial style, like, I personally use this product or service or brand and I love it. You should use it too. Or informational style, like a podcast ad read, like, this is a brand/product that you might be interested in, check it out here. Remember, a good sponsorship doesn't have to be from a brand that you've used for years, as long as you identify that brand as being valuable to your audience. However, if you are giving enthusiastic testimonials about the product or the service, keep in mind that your audience could blame you more squarely if something goes wrong. With CASETiFY, it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Even if the sponsorship was fairly standard, like, go check out their 50% off Black Friday deal versus CASETiFY are the best cases on the planet, you're still likely going to get dragged through the mud. Question 3, how legit does the brand seem? You always have to perform a legitmus test. Come on. That was a play on litmus test. Anyone?
Got him!
Okay, there's a number of ways that you can do this. Look them up on LinkedIn. Do they have actual employees? Does customer support exist? Live chat, a phone number people can call, etc. Does it feel like a scam? Sometimes you just know it in your gut. CASETiFY obviously passes this test, but lots of brands that are probably in your inbox right now definitely do not. By the way, if you want me to send you legit brands that are actively looking for creators to sponsor, sign up for my free weekly newsletter at creatorwizard.com/join or click the link below. There are 33,000 other creators on there. So speaking of legit. All right, question 4, does the brand offer a product or service that would provide my audience with tremendous value? This is a question that you should ask before every sponsorship. Objectively assess what the brand offers and decide whether your audience would thank you for connecting them with that brand. Again, look for testimonials that confirm product audience fit if you were to promote it. Question 5, are there potential downsides for my audience? More importantly, how significant are those downsides, even if they're unlikely to occur? With CASETiFY, the risk to your audience isn't really with the product itself, but rather being associated with the brand at all. With FTX, on the other hand, the potential downside was huge because hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of the creator's audience's capital was at stake. It's worth playing the devil's advocate, putting yourself in the shoes of your audience and walking through the worst case scenario. Question 6, have any other creators shared a horror story on the internet of working with this brand? It's time to do some sleuthing, okay? Google the heck out of that brand. Search them up across social platforms, right? Check them out on Glassdoor. Any terrible employee reviews? A red flag is a red flag no matter who's waving it. And question 7, am I legally protected if things blow up? This shouldn't be construed as legal advice. You should always consult a lawyer, but personally, I like to ensure at a minimum that my contracts have mutual indemnification and limitation of liability clauses, because a lot of agreements do not afford you that. Also, if the brand can terminate the deal if you do something insane, shouldn't you also have that right if the brand does something nuts? You have to add that. Okay, so back to what I would do in this CASETiFY situation. And this has actually happened to my wife and me recently, not with CASETiFY, but with another brand. We had signed a contract with a production company to promote an upcoming movie, and then the Screen Actors Guild strike happened a few weeks after that. So we were kind of freaking out and not really sure what to do, but thankfully, SAG had put out an FAQ for creators, which said, if an influencer is already under contract to promote struck work, then the influencer should fulfill their work obligation. So we decided that we were going to still proceed with the sponsorship, but we wanted to make it very clear to our audience where we stood. So we approached the production company and sent them the following message that we proposed to pin at the top of our comment section. We're so thankful for this opportunity and stand in solidarity with the members of SAG-AFTRA. We've been under contract for this partnership since June 5th, 2023, prior to the strike, and are completing our obligations in alignment with SAG-AFTRA's recommendations. So the brand read it, they chatted internally, they gave us the green light, we published it, and we received absolutely zero pushback from our audience. Now, this CASETiFY situation is a little different because what the brand is accused of is pretty egregious and potentially crosses some ethical boundaries. So let's say that you're a creator who decides that you still want to publish this sponsorship with them. You could do something similar. You pin a comment about how you're just fulfilling your contractual obligations, but just know that given the context and the circumstances, your audience may not care and still call you out. Now, let's say that you decide that you don't want to publish the video. The first thing that I would do, of course, would be to check the contract, right? Ideally, you'd have that termination clause that I mentioned, allowing either party to back out for any reason or if either party fell into disrepute. But remember, if they did pay you a percentage of the fee up front, you have to be prepared to pay that back. Now, again, I am not a lawyer and this should not be construed as legal advice, but even if you did breach the contract and decided not to post the video, the chances of them coming after you legally are extremely slim because the brand has got bigger fish to fry. Plus, imagine the optics for them. If you went public with the fact that they were threatening legal action over breach of contract, this would make a bad situation even worse, and the PR nightmare would be a disaster. At the end of the day, in my opinion, I don't care how much a brand is paying me, it is not worth the reputational damage with my audience and other creators. Even if this all blows over and CASETiFY settles or even loses the lawsuit, people remember. Your top priority should be maintaining a long-term perspective for a long and prosperous career over a short-term payday. Now, if you're wondering how to tell whether the sponsorship offers in your inbox are scams, watch this video next, where I walk you through actual emails that creators have forwarded me and the red flags to watch out for so your YouTube channel does not get hacked.